that's a good place to start. Hello fellow Raiders, and welcome to my champion review in much detail of Executioner. Who is Executioner? He is a rare hero who is farmable in Stage 11 Hallowed Halls. And what that means is farmable is when you're battling along, you are going to get artifact drops, you're going to get shard drops, you're always going to get the silver, but once in a while you get a hero, and once in a while you get Executioner on episode 11. I would have to say the normal drop rate on normal is somewhere between 1 to 10%. Definitely closer to the 1. Could even be in the 0.5 range. It definitely increases your chances as you move through the hard and the brutal campaigns on episode 11. Executioner, some people aren't on the Executioner train, and that is just because they got a great epic or they got a super duper hero so they don't need to farm hardcore for X. When people say farm hardcore for X, is you get more Executioners and you use those Executioners to upgrade your skills. Still hold on to your tombs and have faith that you will get an epic or a legendary. Artifacts. So obviously the standard, the most to get the best out of this guy is Vamp Gear and Attack. I have Vamp and Speed, so he can throw on his Shiltron also. He does nice critical damage. Some people work on his critical rate. And remember guys, the weapon, the helmet, and the shield always have the same main stats. Attack, HP, and defense. The 3 bottom artifacts, gloves, chest, and boots, can have different things as their main stat. A percentage. So you want to look for something that has attack percentage, you know, something that's going to keep him coming back. And then what's great about Executioner is he eventually, you hit a point with him where he does more damage on his counterattack and takes in more health than he just lost getting attacked. So he'll actually go up in health as you move through some missions. He isn't great for every mission. You have to watch out for I'm just going to touch back on artifacts. So the Vamp Gear you get at the start of the game is a great Vamp Gear to put on Executioner. If you don't have the right stats, you might want to go farm a little bit in the Dragon Dungeon to get some more useful Vamp Gear. Using Executioner, I'll take him off auto right here. I call his Tumult the Get Out of Jail Free card, or the Saved by the Bell card, and there are times when before I had him, you know, I'm a level 4, I'm a level 5, because you don't want to get to the start of a level like this and not put your Shiltron on first thing. This guy's strong enough, he can do whatever. I'm bringing you guys through the last level of the game before the big boss, and this is the Shiltron. This is what makes Executioner so great, is it puts on 3 turn counterattack and 3 turn plus 60 defense. Let you guys look at that stat for a sec. So every time he gets attacked, he goes out and attacks. So again, this is the Tumult. So notice my health right now, and then notice how much it goes up when I do a normal strike. Now watch the Tumult. This is why it's the Get Out of Jail Free card. Boom. Health right up. All the enemies dead. So there are points when I say Get Out of Jail Free card is this is how I used to use this attack, was because if you use it right away, especially since you have the Vamp Gear, it'll recharge your health because it attacks all the enemies. And at the start, your skills aren't going to be as upgraded as mine, because my cooldowns, like the Shiltron has 2 off the cooldown, so even if I lose, you know, I can still survive and engage the Shiltron. Some things you have to watch out for with Executioner when you're playing him. This girl, Erin Yes, right over here, she does one of her attacks is a block buffs. And oh, look at that, speak of the devil. So he just tried to put on the buff while he was block buffed. So the AI with Executioner is pretty stupid. I don't have to worry about that because I got the big bad level 6 star. But definitely that's one thing you got to do. So there are some levels you can't even put him on auto. He will just kill himself. He doesn't know what he's doing. So when I would play him, and I remember when I first got him, and I was believing the hype, and I'm still believe the hype. I was bringing him through the normal campaign solo, and I would have to go not on auto. If I went on auto, I would lose. And there are some levels that are going to be much more difficult to complete with Executioner, namely 11, and that's why some of the champions you're facing, they have skills that block buffs, steal buffs, remove buffs, and then they could put you on stun, freeze, sleep. Those things are good. Anything that messes with your buffs or your skills, so increase cooldowns, block skills. But usually if you get there, you put Shiltron on first, you're just laughing. Why Executioner is so great, because a lot of the game is you're upgrading these lower heroes. So this guy over here, I think his name's Greybeard. I am going to sacrifice him. I'm going to sacrifice this blue girl, and this girl I'm training up so I can use her in the Minotaur's dungeon, because she has a nice hit action going on. I use my Executioner in the campaign, arena, and the dungeons. He's on all 3 of my teams. He's my only 6-star. I might have some heroes that are better, but I've invested everything I had in this guy, and it shows. Masteries, we are going to go check that out after this level, and I would have to say, well, definitely the best rare, and Executioner is better than some epics that are even upgraded all the way. His abilities are that strong. I'm just waiting till the level ends so I can show you the gear that I have on my Executioner. And okay, yeah, so upgrading skills on this guy. So honestly, I want to say I've heard of some people doing it hard in a week, you know, getting their X and getting them skills maxed, but I went hard on it, but you know, it took me a while. It took me definitely more than a month, and then because I kind of tapered off, and then I didn't do it so much, and anyways. Okay, so let's dip over and check out what gear I have on my Executioner. Loving the Christmas tree. So I knew I got this epic 5-star set, and I wanted to use it on my X. So I got some nice substats on there for sure. This thing, I'm not really proud of that defense, but I got some nice substats, so that's why I'm keeping it there, and he seems to be loving it. Here I got attack, plus 40%, with a 4-star pretty crappy thingy. And then critical rate, plus 40, with some beautiful percentages in there. Now, so the other thing too is when you're building up these heroes, you always want to work on their strengths and make their strength stronger. But one strength I would not recommend working on for Executioner is his stun ability. And the reason is he just is the best with his counterattack ability, and if the enemy is stunned, they're not attacking you. So, you know, but I will agree the stun does save you sometimes. I would say it's 50-50, and then sometimes, you know, it ticks you off a little. Tumult, get out of jail free card. You save this till you have to save it. So when you get to a campaign, you want to engage Shiltron, and then he should be able to finish Shiltron and Shield Bash the whole round, and then get out of there. And then sometimes you end the round with Tumult. You get to the next round, your Shiltron is ready to go. And that's one way you have to really use him. Again, his just the Tumult is great, but he has this other thing where you can put 15% decreased speed on there, so that's great. And oh, I swear to God, this used to be decreased turn meter. Oh yeah, decreased turn meter by 20% has 50% place 50% speed. So he messes with their turn meter constantly, which is so great. And then I have extra speed on him, so sometimes this Executioner is taking 2 turns per round. The all-coveted Shiltron attack places a 60% increased defense buff and a counterattack buff on this champion for 3 turns. And of course, I've upgraded both skills, so I think it used to be at 5, and then now it's down to 3, which is uber helpful. It does. You can just auto every level. Aura increases ally defense in all battles by 17%. And I'm going to go over the mastery so we can finish it. So I tried to build on his strengths again. So critical damage plus 10%, heals by 5% of damage inflicted when attacking with 50% HP or less. So I actually like this one the most because I see it in action. When he drops below that 50% and he attacks, he does 2 damages. He does his normal damage and then he does a 5% more damage that shows as a different number. Increases the amount of healing and the value of shield buffs this champion receives by 5%. So instead of getting healed by 30%, he gets healed by 35%. So and then I decided to branch over. I'm not going to try to explain why I made these decisions, and I'm not saying that these are the best decisions for Executioner, but this is what I got. And then I put increase the amount of healing and the value of shield buffs this champion receives by 5%. And then I have resistance time plus 10, and I think I had to go with that in order to get that other buff. So this is my Executioner video. I hope I've answered all your questions and concerns. Yes, believe the hype. He is that good of a hero. Reason people are on the X train is because they have an excellent hero who is better than Executioner. And maybe one day you'll get there too. But if you want to add someone dirty to your lineup who's going to take names and kick butt, then this is the guy. Well, thanks for watching my video, guys, and